Hello, and welcome to my tutorial on faulty 7-segment displays. This needy module takes a large amount of its activation time even when going at full speed, and I will not be going at full speed in order to explain it. So I will probably strike, and by probably I mean I will strike just for purposes of teaching it, but that is okay. I'm here to help you through that. This definitely, even when you know what you're doing super well, is going to take some practice. Oh, it activated on its own. So just looking at the displays here, there are 3 different important steps to how to solve this module. The first step is separating the seconds digit, well, not the seconds digit, but the 1 digits over on the right and the 10 digits. If you see sometimes some segments flash a color, that means those are from the same side. Like if you saw this, and this all flashed blue, and like this and something else didn't, that means we know that segment over on the left side should be in a group with the other ones of its color, like this red that just flashed too. And now if we're always getting colors on the same side, and the module doesn't want to show me colors, you know you have your groups together. In this case, actually, because the segments on the left side are changing faster, it is actually the 1s digit. So we will need to swap every digit with the other side. This is one of the trickiest parts of the module, at least for me, just getting these halves of the module separated, and then we can move on into fixing the individual segments. But thank you, Needy. I'll retry just because it takes a while to reactivate, but I'll go through that again one more time slightly faster. So if we look for colors, reds, this one should be somewhere here like that. And just by swapping colors to be with other colors in their with colors in the other half, generally, if possible, you want to swap with a white on the other half that was not that color. You can't always do it because, say, let's see, that display displayed a magenta at the left here and one at the bottom. In cases like that, it doesn't really give you a ton of information. So I prefer to wait for, well, not exactly wait, but like keep it in mind and then wait for a flash like the green outlining all of the zeros on one side there. That'll give you a lot of information. And I did the same thing again where the faster digits are on the left, so we'll swap that over real quick. And then we're going to pretend the game doesn't exist for a second, and I'm going to talk about how I go through the 1s digit and then later the 10s digit to efficiently swap them back into numbers going up between 1 and 100, because these numbers change very quickly. It is hard to wrap your head around if you don't have a plan already going in. So I'm going to pretend the game isn't real, and we are going to look at the manual real quick. So when looking at a 7-segment display, in this case, just thinking about one of them, because once we have separated them, we can do the 1s digit and fix that display, and then go to the 10s digit and fix that display. It's a little bit easier to do it this way, so I would recommend starting with the 1s digit just because of how fast it goes. And it's a lot easier to understand the tens digit when you already have your ones digit figured out. So it will be very rapidly flashing through numbers. And fortunately, if you look at the number 8 here, every segment is lit up, which means if you have your sides split up correctly, the number 8 will always be shown correctly. Because of this, I use the number 8 as a basis for figuring out where I am in the sequence. So even though it's fast, directly after the number 8 is the 9, and the 9 has one blank space, which has to be in the bottom left. So after the 8, which is everything filled in, we see the 9, which has one blank, and swap our ones or tens digit, in this case just the ones digit first, so that the blank is in that bottom left spot, and that will make sure that that bottom left spot is correct. And then next we do a very similar thing with the 0 all the way on the left. The only blank spot is in the middle, so we switch the sides so the only blank is in the middle when we get to the 0, and that allows us to have both the left and the middle spot locked in. You can also do the same thing with the 6, with that slot on the right. I actually generally prefer not to, just because I find it a lot easier to keep track of the seconds, like coming immediately after 8, because 8 is a nice consistent spot that you can always know. Just the numbers change quickly, and it's hard to keep a consistent counting rhythm in my head while I'm also thinking about what swaps to make. So after placing the blank spots on the 9 and 0, the next thing I do is get both of the single lights on the 1 to the right side. In this case, having them placed does mean they can be swapped from the correct orientation, but that is something that later on we will fix. And then from there, I like to go to the 4. Another nice thing about the numbers 1, 4, and 7 is 1 is the only number with exactly 2 lit segments. 7 is the only number with exactly 3 lit segments, and 4 is the only number with exactly 4 lit segments, which means if we see exactly 2 lit segments, we can just move them to that right side and know that they are at least mostly correct. And the same follows for the 4 and 7, so I like to do those after placing the 9 and 0. So now that I've explained how it works, I probably won't get through the whole module because I'll be going kind of slow to explain it, but I am going to show you how to do it on the bomb. All right, I do have to get through the start really quickly again, so looking at colors. That seems correct, but I have to swap them over. And that was the 8 right there. So 8, the 9 is correct, the 0 is correct. And then after that, the 1, we swap that over to the right side. So now we have 8, then 9, then 0, then 1. Looks like I have a 7 too, so I'll just look for the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have these 3 on the left, so moving the bottom to the top left will fix the 4. And in this scenario, the only thing that's wrong is 2 and 5. And ideally, not ideally, but in order to make sure our swap doesn't mess up something that we already have correct, the only things that we can swap are this top left and the middle, and the 2 on the right, because those are the only times that we placed more than one segment with a number. And in this case, swapping the right will make them correct. So might have been hard to tell, but those digits were correct at the very end. And now I will try to speed up a little bit, so hopefully we can get through the whole thing. Show me colors. Okay, that seems correct. Yes, there's an 8. So 8. Then the blank was at the top, and for 9, we want the blank to be bottom left. And then for 0, the blank was right here, and we want it to be in the middle. 8, 9, 0, 1. Get that 1 into place. And it just happened to all be correct. And you might have been able to tell at the last second, we saw a 1 over here on the left since there were only 2 displayed. And now this is the 4. It's going too fast for me, even in the slow ones. So let's slow down. There's exactly 3. That's the 7. Our 7's already in the correct position. Then the 8. 9's blank has to be at the left there. 0's blank has to be in the middle. 1 is correct. I just realized that this one on the right is wrong. Wow. And this is a very common case you'll see where there's like a box and 1 on the bottom. What it means is just swap the 2 on the right, the 2 segments in the 1. That's something you'll see a lot of the time. And I will retry again because this needy takes a very long time to activate. It's a little bit easier to get your bearings when you're working on the left side. Okay, that seems correct. Where's our 8? 9. Where's our 8? Okay. 0 should be good. Our 1 is in place. 7 needs to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. This spot needs to go there. And now it's the box and 1 at the bottom case. So the box at the top and 1 at the bottom on 5, and box at the bottom and 1 at the top on 2 means you have to swap the right. And now it's time to figure out where we are on the left. It looks like that has to be a 4 since there's only 4 segments being shown. The 6 is correct. That's interesting. This needs to be a 7. 8 exists. 9 is happy. 0 is also happy. It's good to check every number if you can, just to make sure you're going to get it right. It's looking good. Everything's been happy. I just need to see 5 and 6. Okay, cool. So this is a fully correct 7-segment display, and when the needy runs out of time, it will not strike. Hooray. So unfortunately, there is no way to like slow this module down too much and like simplify it because of how fast it forces you to go. Okay. Swapped all the colors in. My fast was on the left though, so I need to swap them over to the right. And now look for 8, 9, 0. And now I'll place the 1 next time. That was the 1. 7's in place. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Was that it? Nope. Slow down. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this on the left needs to be moved to the bottom to fix the 3. And then everything is happy except the 7. So now that's all happy. This looks like it's the 7 on the left. Yes, it was followed by the 8. The main difference between doing the left side and the right side is you kind of just have to start from wherever the module gives it to you on the left. Because otherwise, you have to wait a very long time, and the module just does not give you enough time to do that. Like you can see here, I'm barely making it. But it seems like everything is correct. I technically didn't have a chance to fully check everything. But unfortunately, with this module, it is just so... well, I was going to say random. I guess it is. It's just tricky to make sure you get everything in the same place. Looks like everything is, all the colors are together. So I'll start swapping things over to the other side. All right, we are looking for 8. 9, the hole was there. 0, the hole was there. Now for 1. I totally skipped 1. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So bottom has to go there to fix the 4. And we have the little box case, so swapping these two will fix the right side. I think this is 5. Seems like it, now that I've got a 6. Yes, okay, so this has to be 7. 8. Let's see where the blank is on 9. We need to move that to the left. And then move it to the middle, so 0 is happy. 1's already good. I don't think this is fully correct, though. Yes, I don't like changing 2. You can, but most of the time 2s are weird. Changing the 3 is, like, easier for my brain. Like in that case. And it should be fully correct. Yes, okay. That is good. So this module is certainly really weird. Unfortunately, even with me explaining my method, it still will take practice because of just how time sensitive this is. Getting the colors over quickly is probably my biggest struggle. I feel like sometimes it just works out and other times it doesn't. And then just getting used to doing these patterns over and over again of putting in the 9, putting in the 0, setting your 1, checking your 4 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see you get a lot of the same patterns, like this box thing, where I just need to swap these 2 on the right to fix that. I saw 1 on the left at the last second. I think that's a 3. This is a 5. 6. 7. 8. 9's happy. 0's happy. Should be all good. Yes, okay. I feel like I struggled a little bit on this tutorial, but I think I did a good enough job of like explaining my method and how to approach it that it's still useful. It definitely does take practice. It at some point just becomes recognizing the patterns you're gonna see over and over again. But once you start to recognize those patterns, it really is not that bad. Just getting it all down quickly enough to actually solve the module. And like, I've been getting a couple with like 20 seconds or so left. So you could go do things on a bomb. I know it's crazy. But this is like the highest scored needy on Twitch plays, and Twitch plays means everything. It's certainly very difficult, but I think it's a really doable module now. Well, not now. It just is really doable. And I think more people should know it. Thank you, everybody. This has been my school essay.